The American education system is at a crossroads. The recent executive order by President Trump to dismantle the Department of Education marks a significant turning point. This move signifies a return to greater state control over education, a trend with far-reaching implications for students, educators, and communities nationwide. We will examine how states are shaping curriculum standards, allocating funding, and overseeing school leadership. Furthermore, we will delve into the consequences of these changes on teacher oversight, operational structures, and most crucially, the education of students with disabilities. Proponents argue that local control fosters innovation and accountability. Conversely, critics express deep concern about potential disparities in educational opportunities. They fear that vulnerable student populations, particularly those with disabilities, will be left behind. The future of American education hinges on the decisions made today. One of the most immediate impacts of state control is the emergence of diverse curriculum standards across the country. With the Department of Education no longer setting national guidelines, states have assumed the responsibility of determining what students should learn and how they should be assessed. In Michigan, for instance, the Detroit Public Schools have prioritized literacy and math skills in response to historically low test scores. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, the state has adopted a more demanding curriculum, particularly in math and science. Texas has made headlines for its controversial revisions to the history curriculum, emphasizing American exceptionalism and downplaying the role of slavery and racial injustice. The variation in curriculum standards across states raises concerns about educational equity. Will students in states with less rigorous curricula be adequately prepared for college and the workforce? Beyond curriculum, state control has significant implications for school funding and budgeting. With varying levels of state revenue and different priorities, the distribution of resources across schools and districts is often uneven. New Jersey offers a compelling example of how states are grappling with funding challenges. In Newark, the state has taken over the struggling school district and implemented a series of reforms. In contrast, Louisiana has taken a more market-driven approach to education reform, replacing underperforming schools with charter schools. Pennsylvania provides yet another example of the challenges of school funding, with chronic underfunding leading to dilapidated facilities and teacher shortages. The examples of New Jersey, Louisiana, and Pennsylvania highlight the complexities of school funding in an era of state control. Ensuring equitable funding for all students remains a significant challenge. Section 4. Leadership and Governance. From local control to state intervention. State control over education extends beyond curriculum and funding to encompass leadership and governance. Camden, New Jersey provides a stark example of state intervention. In 2013, the state took control of the city's failing school district, citing chronic low performance and financial mismanagement. Georgia offers a different model of state intervention with opportunity school districts run by state-appointed superintendents. Mississippi has also seen its share of state intervention in education, taking over the Jackson Public School District in 2016. The examples of Camden, Georgia, and Mississippi demonstrate the growing role of states in shaping the leadership and governance of local school districts. While proponents argue that state intervention is necessary to address chronic underperformance, critics counter that it undermines local control and accountability. The balance between state intervention and local control remains a contentious issue. Section 5. Teacher and Staff Oversight, the Impact on Educators. The shift towards state control has significant implications for teachers and staff. Rhode Island provides an example of state efforts to improve teacher quality with a rigorous evaluation system. Florida has taken a more aggressive approach to teacher oversight, making it easier to fire teachers deemed ineffective. Texas requires teachers to undergo regular evaluations and pass rigorous exams in their subject areas. These changes have sparked debate about the balance between accountability and professional autonomy. The examples of Rhode Island, Florida, and Texas illustrate the diverse approaches states are taking to teacher oversight. As states grapple with the challenge of improving teacher quality, finding the right balance remains a work in progress. The impact on educators is profound and multifaceted. Section 6. Special Education, a vulnerable population in transition. Perhaps no other group of students is more vulnerable to the impacts of state control than those with disabilities. The recent executive order dismantling the Department of Education and transferring special education programs to the Department of Health and Human Services has raised concerns. Critics argue that HHS lacks the expertise and infrastructure to effectively oversee special education programs. Proponents of the transfer argue that it will streamline services and reduce bureaucracy. The transfer of special education programs to HHS is a significant development with potentially far-reaching consequences for students with disabilities. It remains to be seen how this shift will play out in practice, and whether the needs of these vulnerable students will be adequately met.